Good morning, dear students. Welcome to our chapter number 2, part 4. So, I hope you are safe and fine at your home. How are you doing? Let's come and learn our part 4 of chapter number 2. And what is the name of our chapter? The name of our chapter is Olympic Value Education. So, in this chapter, it is the last part of Olympic Value Education, and the part is part 4. Getting my point? So, in part 4, the Olympic Value Education, now today, what we are going to do? See, in your school, there is always, a discipline committee or activity in charge, the principal of the school. There are council members in the school, head boy, head girls. So why they people are engaged in a school, so giving some leadership trainings and all. So in the same way, International Olympic Committee, that is IOC International Olympic Committee is being formed in Olympics. So whatever the rules and regulations, what are the political abuse and all things should be handled by the International Olympic Committee. So what is the full form of IOC? The full form of this IOC is International Olympic Committee. So where is this International Olympic Committee situated? So this International Olympic Committee is situated in Switzerland, and the name of that particular place is Lausanne. So Lausanne, Switzerland, there is a headquarter. The headquarter of International Olympic Committee is in Switzerland, Lausanne. So what exactly this IOC is? IOC is the supreme authority of Olympic movement. What is it? It is a supreme authority which take decisions, which decide where to do the Olympics. Alright? So IOC, the International Olympic Committee, is the supreme authority. Which kind of authority? It's the supreme authority of Olympic movement. Formed in June 1894. When did it form? It formed in June 1894. So this date should always be in our mind that in June 1894 the International Olympic Committee is formed. Let us move on the next part. And this part, let's say, an International Athletic Congress held in Paris. So when did it form? When there was an Athletic Congress in Paris, that is International Athletic Congress was going on in Paris, and on that time, June 1894, this International Olympic Committee formed. Now, what this International Committee act? So this International Olympic Committee act as a catalyst. Okay, it act as a collaborator, it act as a moderator in Olympic games and sports. So here we understand that the Olympic Committee is act as a catalyst. It helps in the collaboration between all the families in Olympics. So what did this modern Olympics, this International Olympic Committee does? This International Olympic Committee helps for the collaboration between different families in Olympics. Now what are the different families? I am talking about different organizations which are directly or indirectly, provide support and everything with the International Olympic Committee. So what are these families? This International Olympic Committee's family. So the first is National Olympic Committee. This National Olympic Committee is short form, we can say NOCS, that is National Olympic Committees. So there are a lot of National Olympic Committees, International Sports Federation, organizing committees of Olympic Games, the sports, sponsors, the partners of the game, the partners for the Olympics, the sponsors of the Olympics, broadcast partners, United Nations agencies. So here you can understand in IOC, that is the International Olympic Committee. So what we are going to understand here? We are going to understand that it is a supreme authority. Alright? It is a supreme Olympic authority of Olympic movement. It is formed in 1894 at National Athletic Congress, and it helps as a moderator collaboration with the different kinds of committees or partners, sponsors like National Olympic Committee, International Sports Federation, sports committees for Olympic Games. So now let's come, we are going to learn what is the role of this International Olympic Committee. So the very first role of this International Olympic Committee is encourage and support the ethics in sports. So what are ethics? These are the moral, social, ethical values. So the very first role of this committee is encourage and support ethics in sports. What they do? They do the encouragement to the organization. They support the organization, which helps to build up ethics in sports, like honesty, sportsmanship, true spirit, to play a game, fair play, education of sports and spirit for the fair play. It also ensures that the players, the coaches and those who are attached to Olympic should get the updated knowledge of the sports, updated education of the sports, as well as they ensure that the spirit of fair play without discrimination, without money power, each and everything will be good there. Next is encourage and support the organization for competition. So International Olympic Committee always encourage, always support the organizations, the sponsors, the broadcast partners, the different national and international committees for the regular celebration of Olympics, for the different types of competition going on there. They also ensure the regular celebration of Olympic Games. So International Olympic Committee will decide where the Olympic will held, in which city and why, and all the things are decided by International Olympic Committee. So actually these are planners. These are Olympic planners. International Olympic Committee is a Olympic planner. If you heard about it, wedding planner. So they are Olympic planners. Whom they are? They are Olympic planners. So they decide where the Olympics will head and which year. Next is that ensure regular celebration of Olympics, promote peace and cooperation with public and private organizations. So what they do that peace should be there in Olympics, and they deal with the different competitions and different public as well as private organizations. Take action to strengthen the unity. International Olympic Committee always takes some decisions to strengthen the Olympic Committee, to bring the unity and always move ahead with a good point of view. Next is take action to protect the independence of the Olympic movement. So I see that International Olympic Committee always helps to take, to protect the independence. Independence in sports. There is no bullying or something else. To act against discrimination in Olympics. What discrimination? Discrimination is maybe the difference between the color, gender, caste, religion, money, power. So as you know that Olympics become the name and fame, it's become professional. So people may use muscle power or money in that, because there is a lot of money in Olympics nowadays, games and sports. So it also acts against discrimination. Got it? Next, to encourage and support the participation of women in sport. It is the most important point that International Olympic Committee always want to encourage the participation of women in sports. Not only the women's participation of women in sports, but also they ensure that the equal participation of men as well as women in sports. To encourage and support participation of women in sports. Got it? Next is equality of man and woman in Olympic Games. So when I am talking about equality of men and women in Olympic Games, next to lead a fight against doping. So as I earlier told you, I discussed with you that what is Olympic. Olympic is different games and all, and what is doping? So in Olympics, the use of banned products. What Olympic means? Use of banned products like gene doping, blood doping, drugs doping. So this is totally banned in Olympics. International Olympic Committee set lot of laboratories like WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, which acts against the doping so that the game will be fair. Next is to oppose the political abuse and money power. International Olympic Committee always is strict with these things, that is the political abuse, political pressure. No can work there. There will be a freedom, there will be a fair play. That's it. Next, support for the development in schools. See, to develop the schools, to build up some organizations, to plan, to shop down the schedule, to see all the things, all the requirements. It is very important for IFC for the development of schools, for the development of schools in a nation. To enforce rules and regulation. Rules and regulation is the most important part in any of the game. So this is all about the role of International Olympic Committee. So now let us come. We are just going to recapitulate what we had started. So we had started International Olympic Committee. The headquarters of International Olympic Committee is in Switzerland, Basel. It is a supreme authority in the Olympic movement. It is formed in June 1894. Next thing, that is, it was the time when International Athletic Congress was in Paris. It acts as a collaboration, moderator to deal with the different families of the sports, like national committees, like national federations, and partners, sponsors, national agencies, etc. The very first roles, so what are the roles? The first role is to support the ethics, alright, to provide a fair play, spirit of fair play. They also support the organization for the regular celebration of Olympics. They ensure that we cooperate with public as well as private organizations so that the strength can be, strengthen the unity of Olympics. They also take action to provide independence in the Olympics, and they act against discrimination in sports. Next thing, that is, they encourage the support of participation in the women's sports. They ensure that men as well as women should be equal in Olympics, and they lead a fight against doping, which is totally banned in Olympics. And what is doping? Doping is the use of banned products in sports. They also support and develop sports. They enforce the rules and regulation for the regular celebration of the Olympics. So this is what we had studied about the International Olympic Committee and their role. So I hope you understand this concept. So before moving to the next, I would like to tell you that go through all the rules, role of IOCs before we moving for the next one. Good morning, dear children. So today we are going to learn the second chapter of part 2. So good morning, dear 11th. I know you are very excited to learn these new concepts. And today we are going to do the part 3. Sorry, it's not part 3, it's part 2. And the topic that we are going to cover today is Para-Olympic. What is this Para-Olympic? What is the CWSM? And what is the meaning of this APE? If we talk about the Para-Olympic, it means now we are going to talk about child with special need, or the students who are disabled. We can't say they are disabled, we can say they are, special kids, they are special caretaker. So today we are going to learn about the Paralympics, that is child with special need. So when we talk about child with special need, so we need to think about APE. Now what is this APE? This APE is Adapted Physical Education. For the Divyang student, or we can say for a special child, or we can say child with special need. These things or these range of students or a player needs special care. And when we need special care, we need to think in mind whenever we design a curriculum for them. So it will be according to the APE, according to Adapted Physical Education. There are some modifications then and there so that they can perform. So modification in rules, regulation, etc. will be there for the players of Para-Olympics. So now let us come and understand what exactly this Para-Olympic is. I hope you all are very excited. So let us see what is Para-Olympic. So from starting we can see sports for athletes with impairment. So Paralympics is a kind of tournament which is specially organized for the athletes who have some range of impairment. Now what is impairment? If someone has no perform something, that is impairment. When he is not able to use his upper limb or lower limb or a manual dexterity or an intellectual problem, so we conclude it in a impairment or a disability. Disability is a kind of impairment. It may be cognitive, it may be intellectual, etc. So, if we talk about Paralympics, so Paralympics, this Paralympic is existence for more than 100 years in the country, and they are working for the special kids. They organize, with Olympics, and Paralympics is going on parallel with the Olympics. What is the next thing we need to see? First sports club of DE were already existence in 1888. So you always keep in mind this important point. The first sports club for the DEEF, those who are not able to hear, and were already existence in 1888. So I'm gonna underline some important points. So it should keep in our mind so that we can remember it properly. So in 1888, Berlin, it was already in existence, a club for DEEF. Paralympic event is a major international multi-sports event where several categories of different athlete categories were made. So here you can understand it is a major international event. So the level is international, and this multi-sports. So there are around 22 and more than that 22 activities or categories are there. Several categories, around 10 categories for the different kinds of disability and sickness if we think about a single group. Next, range of disability include impairment in muscle power. So Paralympic has organized a lot of activities for the impaired people, like they all know, there is many people who are having some muscle power related problems. So some of the disease that they are facing are paraplegia, quadriplegia, muscular dystrophy. So let's see what is this. These all are the muscle impaired. If the muscle power of an individual is impaired, these kind of disabilities occur. These types of disease we can say occur. If we talk about muscle dystrophy, say. So what is this muscle dystrophy or a muscular dystrophy? So it is the improper functioning of binding of our muscles like calcium and fibers and all. There is a problem in muscle. Post-polio syndrome, spine bifida, impaired passive range of movement, in Allegra impairment. So there are a whole lot of kinds of impairment, and on which Paralympics are working. For that kind of people, Paralympic is working, which is continue with the parallel to Olympics, and they organize a whole lot of activities for such disabled person. Next that we think is limb deficiency, amputation. It may be some genetic disorder or leg difference length. We can see the leg difference length so many times. Short stature or hypotonia, ataxia, anthropsia, vision impairment. So if we talk about vision impairment, see. So vision, it may be a far-sightedness, a nearsightedness, presbyopia, myopia, and these are the normal things. But if we come and if we see this, the whole range, the range is so severe. If someone is not able to see at all, they organize for these kinds of activity for them also. This Paralympics were organized parallel to Olympic Games, and it was firstly organized in Rome. Where it firstly organized? It is, you can see here, it is firstly organized in Rome, Italy in 1960. So you always keep in mind that in 1960 it was firstly organized, and where it organized? It is firstly organized in Rome, that is the Italy, in 1960. Now there is again another term, that is IPC. So let's see what is this IPC. IPC have you ever heard in Olympics we have IOC, that is International Olympic Committee. Same like here in Paralympic, there is International Paralympic Committee. So IPC stand for, what IPC stand? IPC stand for International Paralympics Committee. It is a global governing body, and Rio Paralympic there were 22 sports. So these 22 sports have been organized. Where have these organized? These were organized in the Paralympics Rio de Janeiro 2016. Now let's see what are the games. So the games like archery, the games like athletics, the whole range of things, bouquet, paracanoeing, cycling, equestrian, football 5-side, football 6-side, 7-side, goal, judo, paratriathlon, powerlifting, rowing, sailing, shooting, swimming, table tennis, volleyball, wheelchair rugby, wheelchair basketball, wheelchair, we can see fencing, and wheelchair rugby, wheelchair tennis, etc. So this is what exactly about Paralympics. Now the point is, if see why this organization have been formed. So Paralympic is especially, as you know, for the range of disabilities of person. See, this disabled person, they are also having urge, they are also having a sportsmanship, they also want to explore their self, because disability is not inability of a person. If you have a hard-working nature, if you have some good thoughts, some positive waves, then you can make everything possible, because disability is not an inability of a person. It is due to some accident or a genetical problem or some muscular dystrophy, intellectual problem, these things occur. So it is our prime duty of a country to pay attention to the disabled person, so that CWS, the child with special needs, so that they can also excel their performance and they can also win medals, golds, and for the country and all. So this adapted physical education I was talking about, this adapted physical education made a curriculum for all disabled kind of peoples. They adapted lesson plans for them, adapted equipments for them, some modified rules and regulations for the game. So according to the disability, adapted physical education make changes in that particular game. So now let us come. We are going to recapitulate what we had studied today. So we had studied a Paralympics. So in Paralympics, we had learned about that Paralympics is especially for the impaired athletes, and it is existence more than 100 years. The first sports club for the deaf was already existence in 1888 in Berlin. Next thing, it is a major, Paralympic is a major international sport event which serves different kinds of categories to a player. It has a range of impaired muscular power disability like post-polio syndrome, spine bifida, muscular dystrophy, paraplegia, quadriplegia, also impaired passive organ movement. Or if we talk about the limb deficiency, though there are a lot of ranges in which the Paralympic works, like amputation, leg length different, short statue, hypertonia. These are the different intellectual problem. So see, this intellectual or this impaired person, they also have a life. They also want to excel their performance. They also want to show their potential. If you heard about, there are many wonderful people who done a great job, although they having many kinds of disability. So there are challenges in life, and if we see that challenges, if we work on that challenges, if we work harder with the power of persistence and intelligence, we definitely achieve our goal. Because disability will not able to stop your power. Disability will not keep you on a particular place. If you having a power, if you having a urge to do something, you can do. If you work hard for that particular thing, if you having a goal, a well targeted goal, then you can definitely achieve your goal. So let us come on that IPC. So that's IPC is International Paralympic Committee, is a governing body, and in Rio Paralympic there are around 22 sports, and the name of the sports are archery, athletics, bouquet, paracanoeing, cycling, equestrian, football 5-sider, football 7-sider, wheelchair fencing, wheelchair tennis, wheelchair rugby, So it is not like that they are not able to take participation in a sports and game, but they can do wonderful if they want to enhance their performance, if they want to show their caliber, they can show. So this type of tournaments like Paralympic has a great importance in one's life, and they can not only enhance the capacity, but they also give some wonderful status in the society. So let us move and see some digital work. Indian Olympic Association. Yes, dear students, we are going to learn about Indian Olympic Association now. So before it, what we started International Olympic Committee, that is IOC, and now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about IOA. What is this IOA? See, the International Olympic Committees work for the Olympics, all the works for the Olympics, international affairs. And when I am talking about IOA, so this IOA is working for district level or national level things, no? So up to national level, IOA is there, international level, Olympics level, who is there? IOC, that is International Olympic Committee is there. So let's move and come in the question of physical education. So IOA, that is International Olympic Committee. This International Olympic Committee is formed in 1919 by the effort of Sir Dorabji Tata, but initially it comes in 1927. Alright, so what I am talking about, let me just tell you. First thing, that the headquarters of Indian Olympic Association is in New Delhi. Alright, and the full form, that is Indian Olympic Association. First time a national level Olympic Association was formed. So before Indian Olympic Association organization formed, which is named as National Level Olympic Federation or Association. But it was formed in 1990. And who made that? It was made by Sir Dorabji Tata. But in 1927, that organization, which is National Level Olympic Organization or Association, came to end. Why? Because on that time, in 1927, mark this year, 1927. So in 1927, Indian Olympic Association is formed, and it is formed by again Sir Dorabji Tata as the first president. So who was the first president of Indian Olympic Association? So the first president of Indian Olympic Association is Sir Dorabji Tata. There were assistant secretary and secretary all. So the first secretary is D.G. Noharan. He was the first secretary, and the assistant secretary is G.D. Sodhi. So there is a logic how to learn. See, I am a physical education teacher and my name is Mr. Deepak Gurjar. So how you remember this name? D.G. Noharan. So who was the secretary of IOA? Deepak Gurjar Noharan. This is a simple way you can learn. Second is G.D. Sodhi. Gurjar Deepak Sodhi. Alright. So it is the easy way to remember the things that our physical education teacher told us, that how to learn this name. This is only on the name of our physical education teacher. So whenever this thing asks you about who is the president of IOA, so that is Sir Dorabji Tata, and who is the secretary, so the secretary was D.G. Noharan and assistant secretary was G.D. Sodhi. Next thing, that is, it is affiliated to IOC. Alright, so as I told you just now, that Indian Olympic Association works up to the national levels, right? And when I am talking about International Olympic Committee, so this International Olympic Committee works at the level of international and up to international levels. It means work for the Olympics. So this IOA, that is Indian Olympic Association, is affiliated to IOC. Like different colleges affiliated to DAVV, so as it is also affiliated to IOC. And what is IOC? IOC is International Olympic Committee, and the headquarters of International Olympic Committee is in Lausanne, Switzerland. The headquarters of IOA, how we are starting now, right now. So IOA, the headquarters is in New Delhi. It is the apex sports organization in the country who encourage and support the Olympic at each and every level of country. it started? It started the Indian Olympic Association, who started it. It was initiative of taken at National Level Olympic Association was in 1919, but it come to an in 1927. In 1927, IOA, the organization formed by Sir Raji Tata, D.G. Noram as a secretary, and G.D. Sodhi as assistant secretary. These IOA is affiliated to IOC, and it is an apex sports organization which helps in the celebration of Olympics or promote Olympics at every state of every country, every level in the country. Now we are going to learn what is the role of IOA. So before going to learn the role of IOA, first we need to understand what the concept it is. So the concept is that each and every organization has their roles, their function. So we can say roles of IOA or function of IOA. The first function of IOA is to promote Olympic movement and amateur sports. So this Olympic, that is our Indian Olympic Association promotes the Olympic movement and amateur sports. So sports, the development of the sport means provide training, provide infrastructures, development of sports temperaments, and development, I think social, moral, lot of things. So IOA plays a vital role for this promote Olympic movement and amateur sports. Promote and encourage physical, moral, social, emotional, cultural values among youth so that the good health of the country can be maintained. So it is also the function of Indian Olympic Association to promote, to inculcate such a interpersonal skills, such a moral, social values so that the individual of a country will be active, healthy and good. So enforce rules and regulation in all the kinds of competition up to national level. So the first concept, that is the very first concept, should be that it ensure the proper rules and regulation of at different levels of government competitions or private competitions. Provide trainings and preparation of players for Olympics, for international matches and etc. So IOA also helps in providing trainings and preparation for the participation of a player in international or Olympic level. So they provide funds also. They are to assist the National Sports Federation for the better conducting or better selection of players in training. So IOA gives training to the players so that the better selection can be done and the training could be done very good. So they assist National Sports Federation. To whom they assist? They assist National State Federation to promote technical help and conduct national level competitions. They always ready to help the national level competition by providing them technical help. Now what is this technical help? This, when I am talking about technical aspects, so official needs, updated knowledge, rules, regulation, everything. So they provide technical help to observe and check the smooth functioning of National Sports Federation. So it is the prime function or a role of Indian Olympic Association to observe as well as check the smooth functioning of National Sports Federation. So they have a quick checkup or observation on what the National Federation is doing, for whom they are doing, any muscle power is going on or something discrimination is going on. All the things are seen by Indian Olympic Association. Next thing that we are going to learn is they provide official sponsorship to the player and they help in their preparation to be the part of Olympics. So this is about they provide financial support as well as official sponsorship. Why they provide official sponsorship? See, when an individual wants to be in, if he or she wants to be go in Olympics, so definitely official is needed. This official will help him in training and lot of things. Alright, to supervise the development of sports in the country. So Indian Olympic Association, as I told you, that it works for the national level. Alright, so it observe and check the development of the sports, the level of the sports, temperament is going in country. Stadium. So they also, inquire about the stadiums, infrastructure, sports infrastructures, state level, centers, district level centers for the sports, so that the players can participate and excel their performance. And CS Karan Rijju, Mr. Karan Rijju ji, he said that if we want our Olympic champions, so we'll have to start with the children of age 6 to 13. So that in the upcoming Olympics we can work for them, right? Next is to arrange funds for training players and for the different competitions. So Indian Olympic Association always also provide fundings. These fundings helps to provide technical help, training for the players, and also organize some kinds of competitions to promote Olympic at every level in India. So this is the most important topic of IOA. They are always trying to provide a technical help, and they are always ready to promote Olympics in every level of country. So let us come, we're going to recapitulate what we had studied. So we have studied IOA, Indian Olympic Association. The headquarters is in New Delhi. It is an apex sports. The first level of trying was done in the National Level Olympic Association in 1990. But due to some reason it came to end, and in 1927 Indian Olympic Association is formed. So when Indian Olympic Association formed in 1927, the first president was who? Dr. That is our Sir Dorabji Tata, and the secretary was D.G. Norem, and G.D. Sodhi is the assistant secretary. And it is affiliated to IOC. As I told you that Indian Olympic Association works for national level programs up to national level programs, and Apex, it's an Apex sports institution in the country. There are different roles of IOA, like Olympic movement and amateur. They encourage physical, moral, social, ethical values. They provide trainings and preparation to players. They ensure that the regular celebration of the program at the national level. They check out the national federations. They enforce that the rules and regulations should be followed properly. They observe and check the smooth coordination. They provide the official sponsorship to a player who is going to perform in national and international programs. Or they also see the function of the stadium, different level, district, state, in the country or the stadium. So they are also seeking for the development of the sports in the country. They arrange funds for the training program. They promote Olympic at every state of level. So I hope you understand the concept of Paralympics, the concept of IOC, the concept of IOA. So IOC, that is International Olympic Committee, IOA, that is Indian Olympic Committee, and Paralympics. Thank you so much for the session. Be always happy, take care of yourself, and be always energetic, do exercise, be always happy. Bye-bye, take care.